This video today is for all of the Republican, conservative, independent voters who think that their choices right now have been left to either be Newt Gingrich or Mitt Romney, because if you've been watching the news, which I would hate to even use the mainstream media as the tell-all of who is still capable of winning in the primaries or who is the top selection, it looks as if Herman Cain is done. And Michelle Bachmann hasn't really made a comeback. Rick Perry, I don't even think people remember who he is anymore. And it seems as if Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich are the main names in the media. So today I will debunk the reasons why you should vote for either one of those two. As a staunch conservative, I can give you plenty of reasons and hopefully lead you towards voting for the real fiscal conservative, the real constitutionalist, Dr. Ron Paul. So being a conservative voter, there's two sides to the story. There are conservative voters that care about monetary policy, and there's conservative voters that believe in social policies. So first I'm going to cover some of the reasons why Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney are terrible people to vote for if you believe in fiscal responsibility and fiscal conservatism. Newt Gingrich accepted $1.6 million from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac for consulting for that company. This is the same Newt Gingrich that demonized Obama for taking campaign contributions from these companies, from executives of these companies. Also, although he said reluctantly, he would have voted for the TARP bailouts. And his own words said 20 years of debt financing to fix 2 weeks' worth of a problem. Doesn't sound like a fiscal conservative to me. And the same thing goes for Mitt Romney. If you look at his track record as governor of Massachusetts, the man supports big business, and on top of it all, we all know there is a fundamental issue going on with our country right now. This isn't the time for to put the Band-Aid over the wound. We need to find out why the wound is there to begin with. And Mitt Romney refuses to look at the Federal Reserve, which is, as many people have come to find out, the real problem. So let's go ahead and take Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich, if you are a fiscal conservative, and roll them up and throw them in the trash. Ron Paul is a great selection for you if you are a fiscal conservative. I encourage you to look into him more and see that by voting with the Constitution, if you are familiar with the Constitution, means giving you control over the fruits of your labor. So when it comes to social issues that many conservatives care about, and I'm sure a lot of conservatives will be voting based on social positions in the election, in the primaries and in the general election in 2012. It usually isn't my big issue to focus on things like, family, pro-choice, pro-life, gay marriage. I'm a libertarian, so all that stuff, you can just throw it out the window and do what you want, if you ask me. Maybe not on all of it, but there are some things I'd just rather avoid. However, I know conservatives like to tackle their social issues. So let's dig into that right now, so I can also tell you why Ron Paul is an excellent candidate for social conservatives. Newt Gingrich has, I hate even bringing this up, but he's been in several, infidelity cases where he's cheated on his wife, had a few different wives. I don't know what was going on. But, that kind of shows a little bit about someone's character when you can't even be faithful to a woman. What makes you think that person can be faithful to 300 million people? Go ahead and let me know if you think I'm pulling some fallacy out of the woodwork here. And I realize abortion is a very touchy issue, especially with conservatives. A lot of people hold, the pro-life stance very close and dear to their heart. And Newt and Mitt have been pretty wishy-washy and have flip-flopped quite a bit over the years on their stance on being pro-life. So once again, you can judge a person by their character and their consistency and how they've behaved in the past, and you can't take all their words for what they are right here in the present. Dr. Ron Paul, however, has delivered over 4,000 babies and actually wants to take the federal law for abortion away from the federal government and leave it up to the states. He also has tried to push through legislation that recognizes a baby at conception as a human being. It didn't pass, however, that is the character I'm talking about. The way someone behaves even if they don't succeed, the way someone behaves whenever you can't see them and they're not in the limelight. So if you're a social conservative and issues about family and issues about life are important to you, there is no reason why you should be looking in the direction of Newt Gingrich or Mitt Romney. Ron Paul is your choice, and I strongly encourage you to look more into him, and please do not write him off for reasons you've heard on the mainstream media, because Ron Paul really does believe in a strong family unit. He believes in letting you keep the fruits of your labor. He believes in true liberty, allowing you to live your life the way you want to, as long as you're not bothering anyone else or coercing anyone else into doing something they don't want to do. Ron Paul will always vote with the Constitution. Ron Paul has done many things in Congress to show his character, and I encourage you to look some of those things up. Things like he voted against the Patriot Act. He votes against the war consistently for very good reasons, very good financial and very good humanitarian reasons. He's also just proved to be a very genuine and sincere person. One of the things I think I've said in another video is that he's never voted to raise his own congressional income, and even stated in his economic plan that he would take a pay cut as president. He would take $40,000 a year as opposed to $400,000 a year. So if that isn't convincing to you about someone's real character, and you're going to decide between someone like Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney, I'm sorry for you. I really hope you read more about Ron Paul and find out, all the reasons why you probably agree with him. So thanks for listening. I hope you found this information useful. And if you are looking to learn more about Ron Paul, I highly suggest you visit his campaign website, which is ronpaul2012.com. You can also check out the Ron Paul blog at ronpaul.com, and if you're more of a video person, you can go to ronpaulflix.com, and it covers tons of his issues and interviews, and some other websites, dailypaul.com. You can visit his Facebook page, Ron Paul 2012. There are tons of resources to learn more about this consistent constitutionalist that is running for president, and I hope you vote for him in the primaries and encourage your family and friends to do the same. Have a great night.
Get out. Make it